Meanwhile, the UK is threatening to confiscate Russian shadow fleet vessels that are transporting illegal oil. As energy is one of Russia's largest exports, the sanctions, which are not really sanctions, let's not kid ourselves. I've been saying this since 2014 that this is a joke, that the sanctions are like not even, there's so many ways around the sanctions. I mean, look at Iran actually. Let's actually use Iran as an example, or Cuba. I mean, Cuba's been sanctioned for the last however long, 60 something years. And what has it gotten? I mean, we're finally doing something. But anyway, the restrictions have not completely stopped the outward flow of hydrocarbons because people still need them. To navigate Western sanctions, Russia is now using a shadow fleet of aging, often unmarked tankers that are also supposedly not insured via Lloyd's anymore, by the way, which can be more difficult for foreign governments to identify as Russian. The allies of Ukraine are beginning to crack down on the shadow fleet, though, with the UK government saying it is moving to confiscate Russian-operated vessels. This has not happened yet. They're just claiming it, I believe. The decision marks an escalation in efforts to choke the energy revenues sustaining Moscow's war in Ukraine. But again, as I've said before, the quote-unquote bombing of the factories as well, and the production, the alleged production, has only increased the price. So I don't know. And then there's this whole thing that some of the stuff that is actually being blown up is actually like stuff that international companies are still involved in. So just think about that. Now, as oil markets react to heightened geopolitical instability, Britain's intervention, which is not an intervention, could disrupt one of the most opaque trading systems in the global energy economy. Russia has acquired aging tankers nearing retirement. As demand rose, so did the value of the vessels. By the end of 2022, more than 600 ships were active in the shadow fleet, including 400 crude carriers. To date, however, fewer than 120 have been sanctioned by the US, the EU, or the UK. Again, this is because there's not enough on the market. I know people were talking about a glut and oversupply, but that seems to be untrue. And people still need oil and gas to live. The hidden fleet poses growing safety and environmental risks. Many tankers lack insurance, proper maintenance, and safety oversight. And don't forget the incident in the Mediterranean with the one, I don't even know what happened with that. It's over off the coast of Libya, I think it was where it was last seen. Some disable tracking systems or conduct mid-ocean transfers of oil, increasing the risk of leaks and collisions. One such incident in 2014 blocked the Bosphorus following an anchor failure. For the energy sector, these operations highlight both the fragility and the opaque mechanics of the global oil trade. The recent crisis in the Middle East has momentarily masked Russia's shadow operations. With the closure of the Strait of Hormuz pushing oil prices higher, energy security has again become a central geopolitical concern. Stateless vehicles now openly fly the Russian flag, operating under Moscow's jurisdiction. Meanwhile, a thaw in U.S. sanctions on Russian oil following negotiations between the presidents Trump and Putin have given these ships limited maneuverability in global waters. It just hit me that the Russians actually set a precedent with the insurance back several years ago when the Russians created their own insurance scheme because they had been dropped from, I believe, Lloyd's with this whole situation. In response, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has authorized a seizure of shadow fleet vessels entering UK waters. This aligns with similar actions taken by France, Belgium, and Sweden, signaling growing European coordination on energy-related enforcement. We are living in an increasingly volatile and dangerous world, facing threats from different fronts across the world every day. Starmer said, "As Prime Minister, my first duty is to keep this country safe and protect British interests here and abroad. We are going after his shadow fleet even harder, not just keeping Britain safe, but starving Putin's war machine of the dirty profits that fund his barbaric campaign in Ukraine. He and his cronies should be in no doubt. We will always defend our sovereignty and stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. So I guess I'm just going to wait patiently to see if the UK actually puts guns to this and actually boards a tanker, because it's going to be really interesting to see if that happens. The UK's move will make it riskier and more expensive for Russia to transport oil, rerouting tankers and increasing costly sea routes. Analysts suggest the disruption could tighten global supply in the short term, particularly in Europe's refined product markets. Starmer will join leaders from the Joint Expeditionary Force, a coalition of 10 northern European nations, to coordinate further responses to Russian aggression. For now, Britain's effort to dismantle the Shadow Fleet underscores how energy policy remains at the heart of modern conflict economics, as nations seek both to secure supply and to deny adversaries the means to profit from instability. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to be very interested to see if there's actual legs on this, and if they're going to put, yeah, we'll just see, I guess.